Another stylistic means for this type of render would be working with images. Now it's easy on planes with an alpha channel. You can easily go online and look for different pictures with an alpha channel on various websites. Now how can we integrate this into Blender? Well, very simply, we say Shift A, image, and then we go to images as planes and we open our downloaded image. We accidentally put that back in our trees collection, and of course you don't want that, so let's move the picture up now. And the picture already has the alpha information. You can see that it's basically just a two-dimensional cloud. It might look a bit weird, but if we position it correctly in our scene, it can look pretty cool, see? Like this. And if our alpha channel on the cloud is somehow too strong for us, we can simply clap a math node in between, and we take the multiply node, and then we can sort of multiply the alpha channel by a certain value. Now we want to pack the value to something between 0 and 1, so let's say 0.5, 0.3 or something, and it's kind of subtle. Having a bit of fog in it is what we want to achieve. So now we can move this PNG somewhere that suits as well, and it's a very simple technique to just add a bit more realism, and it also just looks better because there's a bit of a difference in the mist everywhere. And that's why I wanted to give this to you as a stylistic tool. Now I downloaded a transparent PNG with birds, which looks really cool, for the background, and that means you don't have to model it in any way or anything. You simply download a transparent PNG and then you got it running already. In any case, we should now make sure that the scale reference is correct, so we can simply measure a tree for a moment. I think that's about 20 meters, so this fits quite well. That means we can keep our birds on real-world scale now too. Now let's take a quick look at what we have, and let's rotate it a bit with R and Z to put it in the right position, and then we just have to position the image in the background exactly how we want it to be. Now we can also easily extract individual birds from here, and for this we take the knife tool. The shortcut is K, and that means we go here, we do tap for edit mode, we press K for the knife tool, and just get the bird out of here. Click, 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 click. There we go. We enter 3 for face select, then we say P to separate it by selection, and then it's just a separate object now. We can just take and move it somewhere else. Now we can also do the whole thing to other birds if we want to. We put our birds in the background here and split it up a bit. It's not cut out 100% cleanly, but it doesn't have to be because it's so far in the background you won't see it. Then I imported another cloud here, and we can make it bigger again, and we put it somewhere where we like. For example, I would just want to do it far in the background and then a bit near the ground so that we're sort of here. And I'm wondering if this is even visible. I think if our camera clip distance is not far enough, let me just change that really briefly. Clip and... oh look, there was something else back there. It looks a lot fuller now. Did I forget to set the clip distance at the beginning? I'm so sorry. And we can put this cloud in the background, so to speak, so that it fills the whole picture. And it looks pretty apocalyptic at first, but now we can simply go back to the shader editor, and then we can get to the math node, and the node is set to multiply. Now let's pack it in between, and we'll get the value to 0.2 or something like that. And this way we don't just have a gray, boring sky, but it has a bit of a texture to it, which makes it more realistic. It's information from real life, and that definitely makes the thing a whole lot better. So I definitely encourage you to use stuff like this. Also, another thing that's important to know, and if you skip this lesson, this could have happened. If you press Shift A and you don't see images as planes, then there's a reason for that. That's because it's a specific add-on. You have to enable it before, and then when you open up the menu, you will see images as planes directly here when pressing Shift A or using the button up here. Alternatively, with the arrow under import, you can also say images as planes, but you know, whatever works for you. Now, if we render the whole thing with a mist pass, etc., then I think it can look really cool. And then we end up with this result. Now, compared to this result, or even this result, and now you can of course decide for yourself what you think looks the best, but personally I think this is by far the best. And that is it for this lecture. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope it helped you out, and a super important tip in Blender that I gave you before, but I'm gonna give it to you again: don't feel bad for downloading assets from the internet and trying to work with stuff that is already there. And of course this also applies to motion capture data. There's a lot of transparent PNGs which you can use to enhance your render, and don't be afraid to use it because it just adds real world flair and you don't have to invent the wheel again. Well, that's it from this lecture. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!